2025 was not the easiest year for real estate agents. And if you thrived last year as a real estate agent, you are the GOAT, which has inspired the Lessons Learned series that I'm putting on, talking to producing, thriving agents from 2025 so that you can learn from them. Today, you are in for a treat. I get to talk with Jen, who thrived last year and is involved in doing investing of her own and helping real estate investors buy properties. And she has her own groups where she helps women learn more about real estate investing. So let's get into it. Feels good to be champions, All right, welcome everyone. I'm here with Jen LaChance. Did I say it right?
Yes, ma'am.
She is an amazing realtor, and she got through 2025 and has some lessons learned. So, Jen, tell us what got you into real estate and how was your 2025?
Well, that's a big jump because I've been in real estate here in Panama City Beach about 10 years. So, it's a very slow uphill climb a lot of the times. But to fast forward over all the lessons I learned and take that into 2025 after, a roller coaster that we've all been through in this town and, nationwide, worldwide. I think for me, you got to focus on your own business. It's you really cannot compare yourself to other agents. It can get very, you can get in your head that way, whatever. I really do just try to do my thing. I focus on one-on-one with every one of my clients. But as far as sales go, the thing that helped me get the most deals done was creative financing.
Okay.
So that's something a lot of agents may not know a lot about. I suggest you learn more about it. That is a big part for investors, which is what I work with primarily is investors. So any way you can figure out a way to bring the buyer and the seller together in some sort of compromise and make it a win-win on both sides. That's what we really focused on last year. Sometimes it was kind of unintentional, but it was definitely the way, with interest rates weighing heavy on people, prices are still fairly high. The short-term rental game is a little low. So somewhere everybody's got to be able to meet at the table and find a way to make it work. And sometimes it seems impossible, but if you explain it right to your buyer and or your seller, then hopefully you can get everybody to meet in the middle.
Yes, absolutely. And that actually reminds me, we talked last year about you doing creative financing deals and that there's a lot of people who don't really want to touch them. You remember you
right.
you said that, right? And I do love that you said go learn how to do it, right? Don't
there are literally 100 different ways to do a creative finance deal. It's not just about having one option. It could be a seller finance deal. It could be, figuring out ways that you may not even realize. Some agents are for them, some may not be. So we won't go into detail on that, but there are definitely more than one ways to figure out how to get things done.
Love that.
Yeah.
And so tell me about, I know that you do investing personally and you help a lot of investors. So what got you into the investing market?
So I bought my first house here in Panama City Beach in 2014. It's literally 3 blocks from the beach. I've always kept that house. I turned it into a short-term rental. That got me my first, my foot in the game. And that has been, a wild ride in this town as far as short-term rentals go. That's the only short-term property I have at this time. But I do also have a motel and an RV park. So I guess those are kind of considered short-term.
I didn't realize that.
I do. And that was the first opportunity that I had to do a creative finance deal where I went to the bank. I did a DSCR loan, which if you're familiar with that, but if you're an agent or even an investor and not familiar with the DSCR loan, I highly suggest you learn what that means. And then, so I had a down payment, but between what the bank would give me and what I had to bring to the table, there was a gap. So I had to go to the owner and say, hey, I'm short this much. I want to buy this property.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help me out here? And he did. So I have basically 2 loans on the property plus my down payment.
Okay.
So that's when I first was like, okay, ding ding. There are ways to make this work. So when you can kind of come together in a way like that, it kind of helps everybody out. So after that, I kind of got into building houses somehow too.
Okay.
So I'm on our 4th and 5th new builds now in Panama City.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And that's another type of loan. We're using a new construction loan on those. So that's a great way to, be able to use somebody else's money while you're building. And those sell really well. I like those better than fix and flips. But again, fix and flips, that's a whole nother type of investment property that a lot of people get into.
What is your price point on the new builds?
They're great, like $255 to $265 typically. Most of them they're just 3-2, so they're perfect for a new family. Whatever, especially with Tyndall and all of our people at the base. So they always seem to sell really well. So we never have any problems with those. Yeah, so I like those type of investment properties. But for my clients, I typically focus on the beach side. I was in property management and short term for several years. And so I learned how to really run the numbers and figure out what buyers need to look for when it comes to a short term investment property. So, we kind of, in real estate, we wear a lot of different hats.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to, because like you said, in a year like 2025, when for a lot of people it wasn't a great market, you need multiple streams of income. So that's kind of where I got into doing my own investments and that sort of thing. So my best piece of advice, really learn your market, learn your products, and also get into a group. Find your tribe. Find a mentor. That's really important too, I think.
Love that. Yeah. And speaking of that, you throw events for people who are getting into investing. And I went to one of your events last year on accident. And it was great. It was the one at Hotel Indigo.
Yes.
And so what sparked that?
So actually, that is kind of hosted or sponsored by my mentor, who I am in a group called The Society by Heather Blankenship.
Yes, and she was there.
Yeah, right? She's amazing, right? And she has actually moved to this area, so it's great having her. She's on 30A now and putting a lot of money into her investment properties over there. But I found her by literally when I was learning and Googling and trying to find out more about investment properties. She does a lot of RV parks. So she was the one who kind of sparked my interest in trying to find, some sort of motel or RV park. And, by learning from these people that go before you, they can help you with these steps. And so we decided to start doing local meetups. Like her group has women from all over the country, but we wanted to bring that to our local level as well. So her group sponsors that, and it is at this point just for women, which I love. So whether you're an investor, a first-time investor, whether you're a seasoned investor, whether you're an agent, a lender, we try to discuss different topics. It's really just a networking event. It's great to hear some of the success stories that women in our, neck of the woods have.
Absolutely. It was so fun that night. Well, we were doing something downtown, and some agents said, we're going over to this thing at Hotel Indigo. Want to come? And I was like, sure. And then we got there, and they're like, get in a group, and we're going to do a speed meet or whatever.
Exactly.
And it wasn't just realtors. It was people who were interested in learning how to get their first investment property or grow their investment portfolio, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a group that if anybody wants more information on, I'd be happy to share that. As of right now, we haven't done one in a while. Since before the holidays, we need to start, we're talking about getting that ball rolling again, because trying to host that many women, like it's a very successful event. Every time we do one, we have 40 to 50 women. So trying to find a spot that can hold that many people is sometimes a little challenging. But I definitely want to keep that going.
I love that. Yeah. Well, do you have any last advice for anyone wanting to grow in real estate?
I think for me, I've never been an agent that tries to like blow things up. I kind of have taken things at a slow pace. I like working with a few clients at a time. I don't like to overwhelm myself. So for me and what works best, and when you see these agents out there doing, all over the place and you think, oh my gosh, they're so successful. Sometimes as a mom, I don't need that much chaos in my life. And I never want my clients to feel like I'm not there for them. So sometimes it's okay to step back. And work with a few people at their pace. Um, I sell from a customer service standpoint, from a knowledge based standpoint, and I think if that's the way you are, or if whatever your personality is and however you relate well, then I think that's what you need to follow. I have so many people say, oh, I'm afraid to get into real estate, I don't like to be pushy, really. And I'm like, that is absolutely the last thing I ever think about. People come to me, I work only through referrals or people that I meet, so I don't ever think you have to be pushy in real estate. I think people are going to want to work with you if you have the knowledge and the skill set to give them what they're looking for. And sometimes I may not be the right agent, and that's why I don't try to sell everything in the world. Like find your lane, and you will find your people.
I love that. Well, thank you for doing this with me.
Thanks,
and your
Shayna.
story is amazing, and thank you for sharing it.
Thanks.